Your unwavering loyalty to your employer could be costing you a fortune, potentially $500,000. This isn't a career-long projection. It's the calculated loss incurred within your first 2 decades in the workforce. And the companies that benefit from this loyalty? They've already run the numbers. They understand precisely how much money you're leaving on the table by staying put. The real question is, are you aware of this financial drain? I've delved deep into salary data sourced from the Atlanta Fed, meticulously analyzed wage growth trends spanning 2 decades, and tracked the compounded financial impact of making strategic career moves versus passively adhering to company loyalty. What I uncovered isn't merely a pay disparity. It's a sophisticated wealth transfer system, cleverly concealed in plain sight, actively diverting your earnings. Disclaimer. This video is presented for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Always conduct your own thorough research before making any career or financial decisions. Here's what we're going to break down in detail. Asterisk the precise mathematical rationale behind why strategically changing jobs builds wealth at a rate 50% faster than remaining loyal to a single company. Asterisk the 3-move strategy. A carefully orchestrated plan to compound your salary by an impressive 20% to 30% every 2 to 4 years. Asterisk the insidious psychological mechanisms that companies deploy to keep you feeling stuck, effectively paralyzing your career progression while your earning potential slowly bleeds out. This isn't about advocating for disloyalty or promoting a culture of constant job hopping. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to understand that, in the corporate world, loyalty is often a one-way street. And employers are banking on you not realizing this imbalance until it's far too late to rectify the situation. By the end of this discussion, you'll possess the essential knowledge of when to make a move, how to execute that move strategically, and, most importantly, why the underlying math invariably favors the proactive mover. Let's begin by dismantling the biggest lie you've been sold about career progression. Work hard, consistently prove your value, and the deserving raises will naturally follow. Except, in reality, those meaningful raises rarely materialize. The average annual raise for employees who remain with the same company typically hovers around a meager 3% to 5%. Sounds reasonable on the surface. But when you factor in the relentless march of inflation, you realize that this increase barely allows you to keep pace with the rising cost of living, let alone get ahead. Meanwhile, employees who strategically switch jobs are securing substantial salary jumps, often in the range of 10% to 20%. And sometimes soaring to an impressive 30% to 38% in highly sought-after fields. Here's where the real kicker lies. In 2023, individuals who changed jobs were receiving an average raise of 7%, while those who stayed put received a mere 5%. That's a significant 2 percentage point difference. However, even this advantage has been gradually shrinking. By December 2025, job changers were securing 6% raises compared to the 4% received by stayers, a 2% premium that, while still present, has significantly decreased from its peak. So, what caused this shift? The job market experienced a cooling down period following the frenzied Great Resignation era. Companies, no longer facing the same intense pressure to retain and attract talent, began to compete less aggressively for skilled workers. But here's the crucial element that remained constant: the compounding effect of those strategic moves you made while the premium was still high. Let's illustrate this with a concrete example. Imagine you start with a salary of $60,000. If you choose the path of unwavering loyalty, accepting the standard 4% annual raise, after 5 years, you'll be earning approximately $73,000. Not a terrible outcome, perhaps. However, if you strategically make 2 job moves within that same 5-year period, each resulting in a 15% salary increase, your annual earnings would skyrocket to $90,000. That's an astounding $17,000 more per year, forever. The key is that every future raise, every performance bonus, and every employer contribution to your retirement fund will be calculated based on that significantly higher base salary. Now, let's compound that difference over a 20-year career. The employee who remained loyal to a single company would reach an annual salary of approximately $140,000. The strategic job hopper, on the other hand, would be earning a staggering $280,000. This isn't just a minor pay gap, it represents a massive generational wealth gap. The kind that can dramatically alter your financial future and the opportunities you can provide for your family. And companies are acutely aware of this disparity. They've painstakingly designed entire compensation systems around the assumption that you won't leave. They euphemistically refer to this as retention optimization. You call it loyalty. They label it cost management. You call it proving your worth. Here's the harsh reality. HR departments have meticulously crafted spreadsheets detailing exactly how much money they save by giving you a 4% raise instead of incurring the cost of hiring your replacement at a market rate that's 15% higher. They're relying on the power of inertia, the psychological weight of comfort, familiarity, and the inherent fear of starting over in a new environment. And, unfortunately, it often works. Workers who remain in the same role for more than 5 years can end up earning up to 50% less over their entire lifetime compared to those who strategically move every 2 to 4 years. That's not simply a career decision, it's a self-imposed, $500,000 penalty for adhering to what you were told was the right thing to do. But here's where the situation takes an even darker turn. You're not just losing money, you're losing valuable leverage in your career. With each passing year you stay at the same company, your salary falls further and further behind the prevailing market rate for your skills and experience. And the longer that gap persists, the more difficult it becomes to close it. You become underleveraged, effectively priced below your true market value. Trapped in a salary range that feels nearly impossible to escape. Meanwhile, your colleague who left the company just 2 years ago has already secured their second 20% salary increase at their new role. Same skills. Same experience, the only difference is a more proactive and strategic career approach. Your unwavering loyalty is costing you dearly. So, how can you effectively flip the script and take control of your earning potential? You adopt the 3-move strategy. Move 1. Market calibration, years 1 to 3, ***. The initial goal is to establish your baseline market value. You're actively learning what your skills and experience are truly worth outside of the insulated bubble of your current company. Job switchers who make their first strategic move typically see salary increases ranging from 11% to 15%. This isn't simply luck, it's a direct result of information asymmetry. Your current employer knows your current salary. The broader market knows what your skills are truly worth. That gap between what you're currently earning and what the market is willing to pay represents your leverage. Move 2. Skill expansion, years 4 to 6, ***. This move isn't solely about immediate financial gain. It's about strategically positioning yourself for long-term career growth. Target roles that allow you to acquire and develop high-value skills such as leadership experience, cross-functional collaboration, and expertise in emerging technologies. This compounds your future earning potential because you're becoming increasingly expensive to replace. Job hoppers in this phase often see salary increases of 20% to 30% because they're not just switching jobs, they're strategically switching career categories, expanding their skill set, and increasing their overall value. Move 3, leverage lock, years 7 to 10, this is where you finally cash in on all your strategic moves. You now possess a market rate salary. a significantly expanded skill set, and a demonstrable track record of consistent career growth. You're now negotiating from a position of strength. The ultimate goal isn't endless job hopping, but strategic positioning. Every move you make from this point forward should be a move upwards, taking you closer to your long-term career aspirations. Over a 10-year period. This carefully orchestrated strategy puts you 40% to 60% ahead of someone who remained loyal to a single company from day one. And the gap only continues to widen over time, because you're compounding your earnings from a significantly higher base salary. Now, let's make this strategy more tactical and provide you with actionable steps you can implement immediately without burning any bridges. Step 1. Set your calendar triggers ***. Create an annual reminder to conduct a market value check. Every January, dedicate time to researching the average salary for your role at other companies. Utilizing resources such as Glassdoor, FYI, and LinkedIn Salary. If you discover that you're being paid 10% or more below the market average, that's your signal to start exploring other options. Step 2. Build optionality before you need it. Update your LinkedIn profile on a quarterly basis. Keep your professional network warm by actively engaging with your contacts and attending industry events. Make time for casual coffee chats to explore potential opportunities. The best time to find your next role is when you don't urgently need it. That's when you can negotiate from a position of strength, not scarcity. Step 3. Master the strategic exit. When you decide to leave a company, do so gracefully and professionally. Provide proper notice, meticulously document your work, and offer to train your replacement. The professional world is smaller than you might think, and your reputation travels faster than you do. Step 4. Negotiate from your new baseline ***. Never accept the initial job offer without a counteroffer. Always negotiate for a higher salary. Even a seemingly small increase of 5% on a $75,000 offer translates to an extra $3,750 per year. Compounded over the course of your career, that single negotiation could be worth $150,000 or more. Step 5. Know when to stay. Strategic job hopping also involves knowing when not to move. If you're actively learning, experiencing continuous professional growth, and being paid at or above the prevailing market rate, it's perfectly acceptable to stay put. Loyalty, in itself, isn't inherently wrong. It's simply not a viable long-term career strategy in isolation. Here's your immediate action step: don't wait until tomorrow, do it today. Visit Glassdoor. FYI or Levels. FYI. Search for your job title and city. If you discover that your current salary falls within the bottom 50% of the range, you're undeniably being underleveraged. That's not just an opinion, it's a quantifiable mathematical fact. What's the cost of waiting? If you're currently earning $15,000 below the market average and you choose to stay in your current role for 5 more years, that's $75,000 that you'll never recover. Plus, you'll incur compounding losses on every future raise, bonus, and retirement match, all calculated from that artificially suppressed base salary. The company that's profiting from your loyalty certainly won't tell you this. Your parents, who may have worked at a single job for 30 years, likely won't tell you this either. The system, in many ways, rewards stillness and penalizes movement. But the data doesn't lie. Strategic job hopping isn't reckless or irresponsible. Staying loyal when you're consistently being underpaid is. Your career isn't a marathon with a single finish line. It's a series of sprints, each carefully positioning you for the next. The $500,000 question isn't whether you're good at your job. It's whether you're good at getting paid what you're truly worth. The market unequivocally rewards those who strategically move. Your career is no exception. Loyalty is expensive. Strategy is profitable. Choose accordingly.